Okay, this is the second video on the mug tree model. In this demonstration video, I'm going to show you how to assemble all the different parts together. So first thing I'm going to go to is New, Metric, and I'm going to go to the standard Inventor assembly file. Okay, so once I've done that, you'll see at the top it changes. So we've now got place or create. We are going to place our different components in. So if I start with place and I bring in the base part 1, first of all, it'll be attached to my mouse where I click, and then I'll have a second one attached to my mouse. I can hit escape to get rid of that. I'm just going to rotate it round so that I'm looking at the base the way I want it. And then I'm going to ground this one. All it means is that this one won't be able to move and all the other parts will move around it. So I right click on top of the base part 1 and say grounded, and a little drawing pin goes into it to say that that's now grounded. Right, so I now place in the base part 2. And I'm looking to constrain these two together, so I need to try and rotate it round and get it sitting inside there. And I'm going to do that by constrain. Now, in this case, almost all of the constraints I'm going to be doing are mate and also mate here. There is also the flush option, but in this case, I'm going to use the mate. Okay, so I'm going to click this surface here, and thinking about what part of this will be touching that, it'll be the underside, so I'll rotate it over, and I will click on that same part there, and apply. And what that has done is it's put the two of them together. Okay, so if I rotate it round. Now, one of them will be able to move, but it will be perfectly level with it. Now, the next constraint I'm going to use is still a mate constraint, and I'm going to say this side here is going to touch that side there. So that's moved it round, and it now is only able to move in this direction here. So to get this fully constrained, I'm going to say, lastly, as a mate, I want this surface here to match up with, and if I rotate it round to look inside, this surface here, apply, that's me now got it fully constrained together so that when I try to move them, they don't move. Okay, so that's the sort of first part brought in and constrained together. Now I bring in the second part, which is going to be the stem, and drop it in. Okay, and again escape so you don't have the second one. Now this one is going to use, I'm going to use the tenon to try and constrain it. So constraint, I'm going to say this surface here is going to touch, and if I rotate it round, this part of the stem, apply, and again, if I then rotate it back round, you'll see that it's going in, but it's still able to move. So constraint, I'm going to say that surface there is going to touch that surface there, apply, and then the last thing I've got to do is stop it moving this way, and I'm going to use the edge here, this surface here, which is going to come in and touch this surface here, apply. So that's me got the stem now fully constrained to the base. So the last part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the dowels. Now we need 3 of these, so when I bring them in, I just click 1, 2, 3, then hit escape. Now this one, we're going to use something slightly different. So instead of using the mate constraint, we are going to use the insert constraint. So we're going to use the insert, and we're going to use the end of the dowel to the end of the hole. Now what happens is it sticks all the way out. So if I turn it to aligned, and then I'm going to use the offset. I want 60 millimeters sticking out either side. So I'm going to say offset minus 60. And what that does is it moves the dowel 60 millimeters out. If I turn it around, we've got 60 sticking out one side, 60 sticking out the other. Okay, and apply. And I'll basically repeat that for each of the dowels. So put them in, and then minus 60, apply, and then the last one, and minus 60, apply. Okay, that is the mug tree fully constrained together. You can see I can rotate it round, and everything is fully constrained, all moving together. That's the end of the second demonstration video. Third one, which you can watch, is adding materials and rendering it together.